Welcome everyone, it's Favorite Dragomar. It's time for some more Raid Shadow Legends. We are going to be continuing on our way up this perilous Tower of Doom. Hopefully... You know what, let's just let this run and see how it goes. Rather nicely. Oh no. This is a bit of a help. They have a Mashald help. Because, like, if that Mashald gets going... Okay, thank Talos that... You do not want to know what happens when Mashald gets going. I'm sorry. You don't. You really don't. Because, like, Mashald becomes an absolute... Ugh. You don't... Because, like, he just keeps going and going and going. You do not want Mashald to get started. As a Mashald, even if you are a Mashald versus another Mashald, I'm pretty sure if you're a Mashald or you're versus a Mashald, you want to go first. You want to get him out of there. Because once a Mashald gets going, you're dead meat, pal. You're not getting away out of that alive. I'm trying to get the one guy out of the equation. Like the two that can block revive, just get them out. Because that's what I'm worried about. Like one of these strikes that blocks revive and then it screws up my whole order of everything. So that would be preferable if they did not do that. That would be preferred. Let's get them out of here before they start doing some shenanigans. Sorry, I just do not want them doing shenanigans. All right. Here we go. Bommel 3. Bommel 3 is exceedingly spooky. I am going to put some Rector Drath with a bunch of other stuff in there. Because I am exceedingly afraid of this battle specifically. There's a reason I'm going for massive amounts of heals and revives. Because I drastically fear this fight. Now there's several ways I can do this. I can put a Paragon in here, but I'm going to start with this technique. So it's got a two-pronged approach. It's got revives, and it's got three forms of passive healing. So since it's got 3 forms of passive healing plus a resist aura, it's going to dramatically mess up what my team is doing. Not my team is doing, what their team is doing. Now, we're going to want to save... we're going to also want to see who takes the bombs first, as that's going to be important. Drex is going to be most of the damage. per se, and the War Master procs. Okay, the resistance holds. Alright. This is a very serious and very seriously scary Bommel. There's a reason I went for this team. Because I went for the full try-hard team because I am exceedingly afraid of what this boss does if it gets going. Because these bombs do a lot of damage. As you can see, it smacks. This version is really spooky. There's a reason I didn't even bother. There's a reason I did not even bother to put anyone that would attract bombs necessarily. Because I knew what I was up against. We have to try to get these block damage in tempo. Alright. Good, resisted. But yeah, this is very spooky, this boss. As you can see, the damage is still very high. But Rector Drath plus Syl plus Demetha, you'd be hard pressed to have more passive healing and safer heals for the Drex. This is my best Bommel squad versus the most evil Bommel I have ever dueled. Now, the trouble comes when you don't have a squad like this. That's the problem. When you don't have a squad like this, the gear requirements and everything goes up. Healing and resistance really does wonders versus this boss. Healing, passive healing, lots of resists. Perfect Veils to decrease damage. All of this is really good. As you can see, they can't really do anything about it. And we most likely will win. Even with the bomb in, we still have 2 revivers. And our resistance is high enough that most of the bombs on most of our teammates don't have a chance to land. He also doesn't immediately do Ruinous Crush. But even with Ruinous Crush, we still have 2 revivers including a backup. So generally speaking, that plus the one out, we could make it even safer than this, but I'd rather not. Mainly because I still want to do some semblance of damage to the boss faster than just War Master procs and Giant Slayer procs. That would be preferred. This is my best ever Bommel 3 team. This actually is how you defeat. This is one way, the best way I've I've ever created to kill this monstrosity. The reason I bother to put all this passive healing in is because it's the only healing that's 100% consistent. Along with the block damage. Yes, this team is really sinister. Do I feel remorse for doing this against this boss? No. Because this boss has caused me so much pain. And you guys do not know the suffering that this boss has inflicted upon my farm. So I don't care that it's suffering. It's feeling the suffering. It's feeling the suffering I've had to feel this entire time. Yeah, I don't feel mercy for it. I'm sorry. I don't. That is my ultimate revenge for Bommel 3. I'm sorry. I don't feel sorry for it. I've had it with that boss mocking me. I've had it. He's going to feel the suffering that is what he's had to feel against me. He's going to feel it in his bones. Because I've had it with that boss mocking me. I've had it. Oh. The problem is, I don't know if I can pull off that successful of a thing here. Now, the reason for it is that damage mitigation, you may not have noticed, but I want to make something clear here. The amount of damage mitigation I had on that squad was extremely high. These bombs are not cleansable. They're only resistible, which means that my chance of beating it is far less. On this difficulty with this team. Because I do not have the absolute God squad for killing it. I don't. Not on here, I don't. Because you need specific champions. First things first. We are going to need some decreased defense, at least to clear waves. I still need... I need Beauregard because my resistance is not where it needs to be. I'm going to be blunt about that. I need to be blunt about it because it's the truth. I need a very high resistance squad. I have to think about what do I have that has resist. And I have to check everything has resist. And if anything fails to have resist, I'm dead. See, that's the nightmare. That is the nightmare of this. That is the nightmare of this boss. That is why I've only really managed to do it perfectly on that account. Why? Because you have to build a very high resistance, horrific troll team in order to really beat it. In order to beat this boss, you have to orchestrate a very specific troll team. Most likely having things like Brogni and Rector Drath and you know, heinous stuff built with very high resist. You know? I doubt even this is going to work. I'm probably going to have to go back around and use the other thing. Like, this is the problem. I don't have the evil squad I actually need on this account to really do the job. That's the thing. You need a very specific type of squad in order to dominate versus this boss. That is the bitter truth. It's a truth that a lot of people can't swallow. Is the amount of peel you actually need to make a Bommel squad that fully succeeds. That's the problem. That is the ultimate problem, is that the squad you actually need to beat Bommel perfectly, especially Bommel 3, is out of reach for most except for people who have played the game a very long time. That is the bitter truth of it. Yes, you can do it free to play. Is it hard to get a free to play squad to do this? Yes. 150%. Yes. I'm trying to do stuff here. Yes. Because yes, this boss is a nightmare, to put it bluntly. And without block damage, your probability of beating it is incredibly low. That's the ultimate issue here. Like, you need a lot of passive healing to beat this boss. Without it, and block damage, you see this? This is the issue. You need passive healing. Lots of it. Otherwise, this kind of thing happens. You need resist. You need passive heals. I'm going to need all the passive heals. Because this boss, or like something that can sustain itself through the explosions. Because otherwise, this boss will mess you up. I don't even know how I'm supposed to get past the stupid mobs. It'd be like this. Oh. Because then you have to get past the mobs. And then you have to do all that. Like, as you can see, this is a nightmare. This is nightmare fuel. And the only way that you can truly beat this nightmare fuel clean is if you have a very specific very specific damage mitigation team or very nice gear that allows you to regen repeatedly. It's the only way you beat this. The only way. You do not beat this boss properly, especially on the higher difficulties, without a very nasty team. I did not say whale team, but borderline. Borderline whale. Like, basically, you've played the game long enough that the game goes full circle. That's when it goes optimal. Like, when you get stuff like Vogoth, like Rector Drath, you don't need legendaries, but you need OP damage mitigation. Is what you need. You need stuff that basically peels the living heck out of your team most of the time, or something that can peel itself long enough to live. Sounds easy? Yes. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Main reason I'm doing this is to try to wait out the strengthens. Because unfortunately the strengthens are a massive issue. Trying to reduce the effect of the strengthens. We'll be lucky to get past this alive. Because this boss hits like an absolute cannon. As you saw. Now, Deacon is meant to die, but do not mourn him. His job was to get through the waves. That was his job. Same with Drax. But Drax is also supposed to do damage to the boss. Now, can I get through this whole boss? Possibly not. So prepare yourself. Because this account doesn't have the damage mitigation of the other one. My sill isn't well built enough for this. Okay. We'll be lucky to get through this alive. Case in point. See this damage? This is what I'm talking about. And it only takes that missing once, the one wrong rhythm, and you're dead. And that's why to this day I can't get past that floor. Because I don't have the damage mitigation on this account. That ultimately is my problem. I might be able to do it with double res, Drax, Beauregard. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Because he needs something against that blast damage, man. Well, let's try Doom Priest. The other way, I can't get the rhythm right. Because I need a lot of healing. A lot of heals, a lot of revives. This is the only way we're beating this boss. I friggin' hate doing this, but it's literally the only way I could even foresee this happening at all. It's the only way I can see it happening. Because otherwise, we're going to fail somewhere in the middle. It's the only way, and it probably still isn't enough. Because you need so much support in order to get through this alive. Just this one alone. We're not even talking about the next one. Just this one alone. You need so much support. Like, I'm literally having to use all of the support I have in order to get this done. And I still don't know if we'll make it. Doom Priest and all. Increase resist, because we do not want any bombs to collect. If any bombs collect on anyone, our whole team is probably dead already. As you can see, it is incredibly difficult to do this without a very specific type of squad. Because if you don't have a ludicrous amount of passive healing and resistance, you will not win versus this boss. This boss will finish you in a very brutal, thoroughly brutal, and tormenting fashion. Case in point. I've made my point clear. Like, I don't even know. Like, I have, like, these at, like, 4,000 health. It's still not enough. Well, I've made my point. I have to do all that off screen and then attempt later, but this is literally the true story of Bommel and just what it actually takes to take revenge.